Hello, my name is Deborah Bird. I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist, and I'm here with my client today, Linda Voorhees, and we have been working on a number of different issues together. And let's just talk a little bit about that, Linda. What did you originally come to me for? What was your original goal? And I'm referring now back to the time when we talked in November and December before we ever got started. What did you...
Predominantly it was weight loss.
Okay.
Just trying to get a handle on a healthy eating plan that would support weight loss as well as a healthy plant-based nutritional food plan.
Good. And so we talked a little bit about that, and there was some movement goals in there too, I believe, in those original conversations. And so we chatted, and then I asked you a little bit about, well, what do you think the blocks are? And do you remember what you said about that?
Mostly time commitment, work, just trying to get nestled into my home. I had moved a year ago, and just getting a routine down that would work.
Right, getting the routine down. That's what I remember the most. And I remember you saying a little bit about, well, why don't you tell everybody what you do? A little bit, just a little bit.
Well, I'm semi-retired, and I work as an administrator and chief financial officer for a drug rehabilitation outpatient clinic. So I do it as long distance now, and have been traveling extensively, going back and forth back to New Jersey, and I'm in Arizona now. So that's winding down.
Yeah. So you work from your home in a home office, and I remember you talking a little bit about how you're very busy and there's some urgency and pressure, and then once your day gets rolling with your work, then some of these other goals tend to fall by the side, in particular the movement goals. And is that accurate? Don't let me put words in your mouth.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things I struggled with was I would say I wanted to do A, B, and C, and then I was not really firm with setting clear boundaries. So I let other distractions come in, and then things that I wanted to do for me in my life got pushed aside.
Perfect. That's how I remembered it. So good. So. And how much weight did you want to lose 5 sessions ago when we started, and how much weight have you lost here on our first session?
Well, I wanted to get back into my normal body size. So in terms of an absolute number, I'm not sure what that really was or is, but to date I've lost 31 pounds.
Great, congratulations.
And I have a little bit more to go.
And that's after, this is our 5th session today. So,
correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, great. So on our first session together, do you want to tell everybody what we talked about and what we worked on?
Oh gosh, we've been working and talking on so much, like
flour. It has to do with flour.
Oh, right. Okay. So, yeah, flour and sugar for me are absolute triggers. I love cooking, and I love doing plant-based cooking. But I could go overboard with the flours and the sugars. And the more I eat it, the more I want it. So I was struggling with getting that under control.
Okay, great. And so do you remember I asked you at that time, and it's okay if you don't remember, but I asked you at that time, what is your weekly average in terms of a craving for these flour/sugar products? And on a scale of 10 to 1, 10 being high and 1 being low. Do you remember?
I think I probably would have said about an 11. I don't remember exactly.
You said 11.
That would make sense. Retrospectively, it would absolutely make sense.
Great.
I just couldn't get a handle on it.
Sure, that's fine.
Yeah.
A lot of people are in the same position. So then we did something called aversion therapy, which I'm not going to go into detail on, but it's a protocol that I've developed that so far has been 100% effective with everybody that I've used it with. On session number 2, do you remember what your craving level was for flour products?
I don't remember exactly what the number was, but I know it had pretty much waned away significantly, if not almost all the way.
So down in the 2-ish range?
I would say, yeah, that would probably have been a good answer.
Okay. What is it right now after 5 sessions?
I have absolutely no cravings. I have been going to dinners, to parties. I've actually taught cooking classes since in this interim, and have worked with those ingredients, and I've been fine. I've been absolutely fine. I bring my food with me, and that's what's mine to eat, and that's what I stick with, and I'm fine with it. It's astonishing to me, but I am fine with it.
Right, and it's astonishing. Tell people about that a little bit. Yeah.
Well, I went from being completely, totally helpless or feeling helpless and out of control, waking up saying, today's going to be different. I'm not going to eat that stuff. And then, one bite was just setting me off to the races. So from going to that to today, looking at it, being able to work with it, and just being okay that it's not mine today. And, when people say, oh, that's right, oh, you can't have that, I'm very quick. My response to that is, I can have whatever I like, but today I choose not to.
Nice, I like that.
And I like that whole one day at a time, one meal at a time kind of concept. Mm-hmm. I can change my mind later, but for now, not having it.
Yeah.
And it's fine. I'm absolutely fine with it.
Good. And then we had some other sessions, and we roused it around in your subconscious mind, and we roused it around in your personal life. And would you care to comment on any of that in a general or specific way, or to, abstain?
Yeah, sure.
Either way, whatever you'd like to share on that.
Yeah, well, it was, we got to some core issues about some key relationships in my life, familial mostly. And I really got some clarity on some of the dynamics of them, and as a result set some, what are for me, some really healthy boundaries of what is acceptable within those relationships and what is not. And to not feel guilty about the boundaries that I've set.
Okay, very good. Very clear. So, now that all of that has transpired, what effect do you think that has had, if any, on your flower movement, exercise, psyche?
Well, I think a tremendous amount, because to me, food is comfort. When I'm stressed, I eat. When I'm happy, I eat. When I'm sad, I eat. And this has helped me to reframe that to food is fuel. I still love to cook. I love to eat really good food. But I think about the volume. I think about what's going into it, and what's going to be healthful for me versus what's not going to be.
Go ahead.
And then, so that's the food part of it. And the movement part, I've made some strides in that regard, incorporating in some more movement. I'm not exactly where I would like to be with that, but I have a plan which I think will work and is getting me. It's reasonable and realistic, which I think will make it more sustainable for me, rather than setting this goal of shooting for the stars, that all or nothing approach, and then it winds up being nothing. This has been more of a gradual incorporation, so it I believe is much more sustainable for me.
Okay. And so what would you say to people who are sitting out there in internet land, listening to this testimonial and considering losing weight and changing their diet and changing their movement patterns without rousting around in the subconscious mind and cleansing in these personal issues?
Well, I think it's doable and it works. And I mean, you and I are hundreds and hundreds, maybe 1,000 miles apart from each other, and we're doing this on Skype. So it's doable. We don't have to be sitting in the same room, and I love it because I'm sitting in the comfort of my own home right now. We've actually done a couple of these with me in my pajamas, so because we do them in the morning. It's been great. This has been able to fit into my schedule, and it's been a wonderful experience to help me get back on track. So I would say go for it.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much. But I think you misunderstood the question a little bit, so I
Okay.
just wanted to clarify for our listeners. What the question that I asked was, if somebody's sitting there thinking about doing a weight loss program of any kind, of any nature, and not examining the personal reasons behind it, the personal entanglements, the familial issues that you referred to, if they were not going to address those, how successful do you think they would be?
Well, I can only speak for myself, and I know for me, those issues were integral to what I put in my mouth. So I needed to address them.
Very good.
I don't think I would have been successful at all, period, had I not addressed them.
Okay. So when you originally came to me, you, as many people do, thought that the challenges were time issues, work issues, busyness issues, and then now at the end of it, it has turned out, we've unraveled some things, and it's turned out to be more core issues that we all have. We all have that. So would you say
Sure.
that's a fair assessment of?
Absolutely, yes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else you want to add?
Well, as we're winding down our sessions together, I feel confident that I can move forward. This has created a foundation stone for me that I'm building upon. And each session we've built upon that, and I feel strong enough that I'll be able to continue building further. I've been back to journaling every day, and that self-reflection. So it's a good plan that's in place. That again comes back to the sustainability.
Sure. And once again, just to remind everybody, all of these 5 sessions have been totally done through Skype. And thank you for reminding me about that, because I wanted to let everybody know that. We have had, during these sessions, we've had no face-to-face contact. So thank you, Linda, for sharing with everybody. That's important information for everybody to hear. We really appreciate you taking the time to do that.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.